Hey guys, Scott McNamara from Off-Road Vegan. Today, a pretty simple install, but still a couple gotchas. We're going to be installing the Rugged Ridge rim protectors for the Rugged Ridge XHD wheels. I highly recommend these rim protectors. They've certainly served me well. As you can see here, this is one that I've actually had painted a while ago. Out here in Oregon and Moab and Rubicon, this rim protector is really shot, but you'll also notice how nice and smooth the brand new ones are. So we're going to go ahead and do this install again. Really easy, really simple, but there are a couple things that I think will help make your install go a little easier. So stay tuned and watch out how we do the install. So if you're installing new rim protectors on wheels that you've been using for quite a while, I recommend once you get them off to go ahead and give the outside ring just a good cleaning. Get some of that old mud and dust and dirt and stuff out of there so that the new rim will sit nice and flush. Also gives you a chance to just see if there's any rubbing or if there's anything inside your threads for your rim protectors. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just give it a good quick clean. Okay, the next step is to get your hardware bag that came with the rim protectors. And once you have that open, identify the little divot that's cut out for your air valve. This is going to go right over that air valve, but you'll also notice there's a stamp from the manufacturing process right there. So I always like to flip it around to make sure that that's not showing. And once you get this lined up properly, just go ahead and find a random hole here, probably at top, and just go ahead and just give that a couple turns on the thread. You're going to be doing this with all these nuts at the beginning, so just give it a couple turns. You'll notice a lot of times that they appear like the holes are far off. Pull the rim out, line up the hole, and just give it a couple turns. Again, you don't want too many on there. And then go ahead and do this for the rest of the wheel. Just real loose, hand tight, couple threads, and get each one started pretty good. Okay, as I'm putting the rest of these nuts here in the wheel, I'll go ahead and just talk about a couple things. I did have some of these nuts break off actually inside the wheel from hitting on rocks and whatnot. And when I contacted Rugged Ridge to mention that I'd probably switch these to grade 8, they actually recommended not to do that. These are definitely softer than grade 8. I believe that the justification is so that if these were to break off in the wheel, they're still soft enough and easy enough to get out. And they're also going to have a lot more give. If they do hit a rock or something like that, where grade 8 is probably pretty likely to just kind of snap once it takes that abuse, just to snap off in place. So the other thing I'll mention is in the instructions, be sure to pay attention to the torque specs for these guys. It says 3 pounds, and I definitely recommend following that. Again, when I was first installing these about a year ago, I didn't pay attention to that, and I got a little happy on the torquing. I didn't even use a torque wrench actually to measure it, and ended up breaking off a couple of these studs inside the wheel. So again, they're pretty soft. With a couple really good turns with the socket, you shouldn't have to put a whole lot of power and strength behind tightening these up. Okay, the last step here is go ahead and get yourself a 10 millimeter socket, and just go ahead and actually prepare these to just be tightened up real nice and easy. Again, we don't want to over torque and put a lot of power behind this because you will definitely snap these studs off. You'll notice too that as I'm going here, it's really drawing this rim protector against the wheel nice and flush. So just go ahead and tackle all of these. You might want to go diagonal if you wish. I did that on the rear one that I just installed, kind of like when you're putting lug nuts on. But we're going to go ahead and just kind of go in order here, see if it gives us any different result. Okay, so that's it. As you can tell, I mean, the rim looks great. The studs are all seated really well. It does actually really draw that protector in. You'll notice the last couple of studs that you put in are actually a little tighter because the tolerances are actually really, really good on this piece. So go ahead, remember, pay attention to your torque specs. Go in an order that you like, either diagonal or in the order I just went in. And make sure that you take care to not scratch the surface of the rim protector as well when you're doing this. That's why I like to use the hand tools versus like an impact gun or something. So anyway, thanks for watching, and be sure to email me with any questions at the address at the bottom of the screen. Thanks again.